from, that's not worth it. That way. So I got, and then S mount, I fed the, what do you call it, figure 4 seatbelt. I bring this over here, and now I immediately want to extract his arms, okay? My priority here is to lock my feet together and keep my knees spread open so I can lock his shoulder and engage my hip. The concept with an arm lock is I need to straighten it. Let's go, let's say. I need to straighten it, okay? And hyperextend the arm. If your feet are not locked, and this is before I did anything here, because there's different ways of controlling it here, okay? He's defending as I'm pulling. I have to keep pulling to create tension, otherwise why is he gonna defend? If you're sitting here, not doing anything, he doesn't need to defend. His arms are free, he can push the leg off the head, he can do whatever, he can break this, okay? The other thing I see, and I see this being demonstrated a lot on Instagrams and YouTubes and all that, where the guy's doing an arm lock right here, okay, and his feet are like dangling like this, okay? His feet are up. And the guy's like, let me show you this great escape. So he grabs right here with his right arm, and he goes underneath, and then here, and then it's like, oh, great escape. But the arm lock's not even done correctly, okay? The whole thing that makes an arm lock work is you engage your hips, and you need to control the far shoulder so you can lock both arms inside, okay? From here, I like to create an extra hand, meaning the lapel, okay? So that I can create tension. It forces him to defend. It occupies the free hand. If you're just sitting here and doing this, he'll use his collar to defend, and now that arm becomes free. Now, whether you can begin to already use that to your advantage and then control it so that you can now isolate an arm, that's one thing, okay? But what you need to do is you need to lock that shoulder so that your feet are crossed. Wide leg overhead leg, and the legs open, flared open, so you control the rotation of the head. If I'm here, he can rotate his head, he can rotate his hips. Go the other way now. Yeah, go to the left. You see how he can now change that angle? Okay? If he can rotate his head. When my legs are not crossed, I cannot control the rotation of his head. He can rotate his head and he can move. And his objective to escape is to pull this elbow, to turn his right, and to pull it just below my hip, like right here. That's it, okay? And I don't have an arm lock. So if your hips are not engaged like so, that hole is very easy to exploit, especially with the defense right here, okay? So what I want to do from here is I want to constantly create tension, and I want to think what makes his, conceptually from the bottom, what makes his arm lock defense work? It's 90 degrees on the elbows. If I can take it from 90 and then turn it into something off 90 degrees, it'll weaken the structure. Just imagine this whole building here. Look how many 90-degree angles there are that hold up the roof. If any of these were tilted, the whole thing would collapse. And I'm not a psychiatrist, so or an archaeologist, you know what I mean? So what I want to do is I want to pull with my forearm and push with my chest. So I bring the elbows together. Now my free hand is going to hook this arm here, bring it to my shoulder, and finish the arm. So all I want you guys to do, if you get into the arm lock, feed this all the way through, and then pinch your right elbow to your right hip. It makes this a lot more pressure and a lot less likely for it to slip through. I see a lot of this. This is not going to get you an arm lock, okay? Because this is, even if I start pulling back, I'm not going to be able to extend his arm. I can extend his arm this way here, go elbow to elbow. And I want to pinch it to my right. Because if you notice here, I can tilt this way here, and I can begin to break his arms very easy, okay? So your whole objective is how to break the grips when they defend the arm lock. Because arm locks consist of 3 stages, or 3 phases. Phase 1 is elbow to elbow, defense, go elbow to elbow, that. That's phase 1, okay? I have to go from phase 1 to 3. So here, I got phase 1, and now he goes hand to hand, that's phase 2, okay? I have to go from phase 2 Now phase 3 is straightening out the arm. He's gonna be rotating it and trying to move his hips out and all that. So phase 3 doesn't finish until you straighten out the arm. So you have to understand that just because you're here, you are far from an arm lock, especially if he defends by pulling, by crunching and pulling his elbows into my leg. You see that right there? That makes his whole structure way more powerful. And you see how he's rocking me here? Because my right arm is now fed through here, okay? And I'm just sitting here. Walk your hips away from me, Mike. Now bridge up and down and go to your right. And then pull your right arm up. And you see how he tilts me because he exploited the fact that I'm not attacking. You attack, attack. So you guys are gonna get an in arm lock. You're gonna trap both arms in. Right hand goes through, lean down, grab a collar, and you're pulling, okay? Even if he locks it in right here to your leg right here, your objective here is now cup that tricep above his hand. If his triceps here, this is not gonna do me as much good as this will right here. So I can pull it, lock it, and then I can push it. So I can exploit, yeah, that hand right there. From here, I can hook that hand. But let's say he brought this back over, yeah, right here. Now again, I go back to the elbow, and I pull it, and I push it. From here, I hook that arm, and I'm sure that I can pull it away faster than he's gonna be able to grab it. But if you notice, my right arm still kept his arm isolated. So my left hand was able to now control the wrist and to finish. So as you get here, this is phase 1. I'm gonna cup right here. I'm gonna pull it, and I'm gonna push it with my chest. See how it extends that arm? And I'm gonna go here. So he goes to phase 2. I force him to commit to phase 2. Pull that tricep, push that, right there. Now again, that's exploited right there. And then I go right to here. Now it's phase 3. My right arm still controls. I can now control the wrist and finish. And notice where the arm lock finished. It was here. It wasn't here. You don't want to get down this far, because here, this is already where he can escape. He's going to be turning in and so forth and moving his hips out and all that. And I need to be able to attack it. So you should always go here, okay? And keep that tension, because no matter what happens here, okay? Even if you were to break it apart like that, you can still finish it with that right hand right here. Okay? All right, let's try that. 1, 2, 3. So the concept is phase 1, phase 2, phase 3.